When you open Preferred Real Estate Brokers, the first thing that really struck me odd, and I was like, this is going to go somewhere, was your decision to offer different split levels to agents.
Yeah.
And agents are evidently, you have all sorts of agents. You have the guys that just got licensed yesterday and that don't have a marketing plan or don't know where to even start. And then you have the agents that are doing $100 million worth of business. And so your approach was, it's a very naive approach. It's a very naive thought to think that those two people are going to fit into the same box or structure, and you came up with different structures depending on where sort of people thought they fit in. Can you tell me a little bit about that thought?
Well, not agents are all created equal,
Right.
right? So everyone's different. They're at a different point in their life. They're a different age. They're a different mindset. They come from different backgrounds. Some may have previous work experience in sales. Some have no experience in sales. Some may come from a corporate background. There's so many different people that get in the business. So we have to figure out if we're going to provide them a full service, can we accommodate all types of individuals? Now, a lot of other brokerages, they say, well, this is our model, this is our commission split, and these are our fees. Either you like it or you don't. And later on down the road, if you're successful and you're earning the real estate company a lot of business and a lot of income, we're not willing to adjust your pay rate or your scale because this is all that we have to offer. And then that agent feels like, well, you know what? I'm bringing in a lion's share of the business, but my broker's not willing to increase my split. Now I'm kind of forced to go to another company that's willing to offer me more compensation for the work that I do, which is perfectly normal, and that's how it works. But when I opened a full service brokerage, I said, how can I offer a service to all types of agents, but keep them in their own categories that they feel comfortable in? So we have a beginning program for beginner agents or agents that are trying to really ramp up their business again. Maybe they did well in sales a few years ago and then life happened, now they're back into it. So that's like an 80-20 program where they keep 80% of their commission, but we give them the red carpet treatment. So we provide them all the resources they could possibly want. Or what I did is I call him an excuse eliminator. So I'm just like, okay, all the reasons that you're telling me that you can't make it in the business, I'm going to provide you with all those resources. We provide you open houses, open house signs, sign removal and sign installation for your listings. We provide you coaching, provide you your website, your CRM, pretty much, and a transaction coordinator. So we give them everything that they need in order to be successful. So if they can't make it out of this first block, then it's not anything that I'm not doing or not giving them a chance to survive in the market. It's just their inability to commit.
And a huge important thing you didn't mention was the monthly fee.
Yes. So there's no monthly fee starting out as an agent. I just don't believe that I should start earning income off of that agent until they actually start producing, because a lot of agents, they'll go broke before they make their first sale. So imagine if I signed them on, I said, well, there is a sign-on fee, there is a monthly fee of $60 a month, and I charge you for training and classes, and you have to pay $1,000 to join the board of realtors, but you haven't even made your first sale yet.
Yeah, I've always been of the thought that the best way to help a new agent is by allowing them to keep as much of their money in their pocket as possible, because we know at the beginning those commission checks are sort of far and few in between. And when you are in a company that's taking 50, 40, percent of the entire paycheck, it's just really hard. You have to sell a lot of houses to develop that reserve. So whenever you came up with a program, like, oh my God, what a novel idea. We're actually going to give people the tools to be productive, and we're not going to take away the thing that will help them stay in the business a little bit longer and try it out a little bit longer. And you've seen good success with having this structure.
Correct, because what I do is after the agent's on that initial program for a certain amount of time, or based on their production or their improvement, they can graduate into one of the other programs that allow them a higher commission split, where there are fees that they pay, but now they can afford it, and they don't need as much support and hand-holding from me, and then they can now flourish as an agent, and all that money that they're saving, they can put right back into their business, and then increase it by 30, 40, 50% the years to come. So it's just kind of like a gradual program to kind of get them to a position where they're self-sufficient and they have the tools that they need in order to be successful agents in this market.
Yeah, and the numbers work. I mean, because there's the 80-20 program, then you have a 90-10, and then the 100% program, which would be sort of the top tier program. The 100% program, which is sort of the box that I fit in,
Yes.
is we have a $99 monthly fee, and then we pay $250 per transaction, and
A $30 E&O.
and a $30 E&O per transaction. And so what I found, for example, last year, $10 million in sale, 40-something transactions, with me and my buyer's agent, so paying her fees and paying my fees, overall, my out-of-pocket was under $15,000, so it was like $14,000 something dollars. Whereas if I had two agents at any other company that I'm familiar with, that outlay would have been at least twice as much. It would have been, $30,000 because you're paying a $21,000 or $22,000, and then you're paying like a $10,000 for your buyer's agent. And in that in that amount of money that I mentioned, I also included my office space, which I have because you have 3 offices with available office space, yes, with conference rooms, with screens for presentations and so forth. A heck of a lot of training. So sort of the same. I call it sort of. I'm going to start calling it the training circuit. So the same people that do training in other offices, they just kind of follow the circuit, and we have training from title companies, mortgage companies, inspection companies, as well as your hands-on training with that it's available to the agents in the company. So in my experience, it's been a win-win because I feel like I'm in a company where people are in a trajectory of growth, and a company where I can tell all agents of all spectrums, come join Preferred or come talk to Jose about possibly joining Preferred, and they're not going to be put on this one box that may not fit where they're at in their business.
Exactly. And then that's the difficult part too, because I encourage agents to create a business and treat this like a business. Only problem is there's so many people out there that get into real estate that don't have a business background or business acumen, and then they come in and they do it all wrong, and they don't know that it costs money to run a business. But if the brokerage is taking all your extra income, whether it's a split or a franchise fee and a monthly fee, what it does is that money that you would typically take to put into your business, which should be typically 30% of your total take, should go back into your business. But if you're paying it off to the brokerage and you have fees and franchises and all that stuff like that, you can't afford to grow your business at the rate that you would like. And even if you wanted to bring on a buyer's agent or an admin, think about it. If I'm on a 50-50 split with my buyer's agent and I get a $8,000 commission, I give $4,000 of that to my buyer's agent. Now that buyer's agent has to pay the split and the franchise fees and their monthly fees with the brokerage as well. So by the time they get that 50%, it really comes out to like they're really making 30%. Of the full take, and it's not really lucrative, and you really can't grow your business like you'd want.
Not only is it not lucrative, but there's another aspect of that the people also sort of want to shy away from talking about, and it's commissions have trended downward over the last few years.
Sure.
And one thing that drives me crazy is how commissions can trend downward, yet brokerages are so rigid on their ideology and their splits and the way they run their business that they're not willing to change that at all. I mean, it's a quantifiable, obvious piece of fact and data that commissions have trended downward. So why are brokers not modifying the way that they treat the agents when they know the agents are taking less money per transaction than they used to? Why do you think there is that rigid mentality a lot of times? Obviously, you don't fit in that box, but it seems to be the industry standard. What you're doing is the anomaly.
So it's true. So what happens is a brokerage will get so big and they'll create a certain standard for themselves that they can't afford to cut corners when it comes to the income that they're producing. So what they try to do is provide so many smoke and mirrors to the agent that coming in, they say, oh wow, look at all this technology, look at all this stuff, I can't believe it's amazing. But half of it's fluff and half of it's garbage that they never take advantage of or apply to their business. And like for instance, the 100% program we have, not every agent's on there. It's only for experienced and skilled agents that deserve a long leash, and they can run their business and do with it what they plan to do with it. But other companies that say, hey, we have to adhere to our commission split, and we don't modify it, we don't change it, and every agent here is worth a certain dollar amount, well, that goes to prove that even if I'm a top producing agent, I'm really treated no differently than the other agent who's also worth $21,000, but they're brand new. Everyone has a certain price tag on their head, and they say, in order for us to keep our doors open and keep maintaining the type of business that we have, we need to have X amount of agents closing X amount of deals, and this is how much we know for a fact that we're going to be bringing in quarterly.